Hi guys, so I obviously am very late at posting this video. I really haven't been wanting to do recaps because I don't think a ton is actually happening. This episode, just more of seeing, Mr. Hastings looking like, they're making him look suspicious. Mrs. Hastings goes away to a spa, which I think she went to Radley. And I think that she did it, or Mr. De Laurentiis. Maybe Mr. De Laurentiis really isn't Ellie's father, or I'm not sure. We see Mona being Mona, which she's like my favorite. Lucas talks to Hannah. We see Spencer and Andrew while they're fixing the backyard, which is really strange to me that they're already like doing something in the backyard. Like, I don't feel like if there's an investigation on that you can do landscaping. They found rat poisoning, and then she also found high blood pressure medicine. What else? Allison, wants to go back to school. At the end of the episode, we see her just looking at, the tributes to her and stuff. Paige is trying to act girly, or I don't know if she's just trying to be nice. Maybe she keeps telling Mona she doesn't want a part of the army. She's kind of being pushed into it. Toby's around. Toby, to me, is still suspicious. I think that he may not be around much longer. They say a main character is going to die. I feel like we're going to find out a secret about Toby and he's going to disappear, or Melissa's going to die. I don't think Jenna. I started to think that maybe she was going to be the one to die, because I think they said, I forget what episode, 12? Somebody important is going to die. I'm trying to think. There really, wasn't anything significant besides the doctor's exam. And we see that Ellie has a deep scar, on her leg, her thigh, I guess, or above her knee, which was interesting to me. I made some notes, just random notes about things that have come to my mind, and I also, at the end, it's going to be quite a long video, have a list of all the questions that we have, or at least that I have, and things that I've just come up with and stuff. I've been making this list for quite some time, and if I forget any, please comment them below and I'll add them to the list, and as we find things out, I'll take them out. First of all, Noel, I feel like he was blackmailed into helping Allie. We still don't know, and also he hasn't been around again. He was in important episodes and then he disappears. I think that Mona got Allison to leave so she could, run town, and I feel like Allie was the one that stole the game from Mona. I really do. I put Mrs. Hastings probably in Radley. Allie's scar, at first I thought, oh my gosh, is this, was she the one that put Arya in the box and she got stabbed? But remember, we hear a guy saying, ow. So I still think that was Jason. Because it was Wilden and Melissa were the Queen of Hearts, and you know that Jason was part of NAT Club, so Garrett and all of them were involved, so it would make sense that Jason was the one that did it. And then part of me thinks that maybe Cece's twin is the one in the grave. We know that Cece and Allison were wearing the same top the night that Allison died, so I don't know if that's pretty much a clue or what. So just as an aside, before I get into this long list of questions, pretty much, I don't know if I'm going to be doing recaps every week. I might just do what I'm doing now, talk about theories and different ramblings and stuff about the show as a whole each week, instead of recapping, because you already know what happened, unless something crazy happens. But that's kind of how I'm going to go with this, once a week video, unless I get, I have more ideas. So let's get started with all the unanswered questions that I have. Here we go. So, unanswered PLL questions. Who's in Allison's grave? And who hit her with the rock? Why was Cece dressed like Allison that night? I just said. Why did Allison want Jenna to think that Garrett killed her? Who was A to Allison? Who was the one that was stalking Allison? How did Grunwald and Allie meet, and how did Grunwald know where she was buried? We know that she says she's psychic, but I don't believe the whole thing. Is Sarah Harvey important? Who is she? Is she Wilden's daughter? Who was Mrs. De Laurentiis talking to that night on the phone? Who's Beach Hottie? And who set the fire that Jenna was in, the second one? Remember, Hannah saved her, I believe, in her house. Why was Holden with Emily that night? Remember the hockey stick, the field hockey stick? What was up with that? Who buried it? Why did A visit Mrs. Potter's grave? Remember that one? Who's Black Veil? Who dug up Allison's grave? I think we already know that's Lucas. Who's Redcoat? Isn't this crazy how many questions there are? I still have tons. I probably still have 20 to tell you. Who was the guy that knew Allison's name in episode 21 of season 3? Who was Allie's friend's boyfriend who pulled the gun on her? Was Allie ever with Wilden, and was she ever pregnant? What did Melissa whisper to Peter? What did she whisper to her dad in the police department? Remember? That was a major part of that episode. Who killed Mrs. De Laurentiis? Where was Jason really? What's the thing with the painting at the funeral home in Allison? Who was Mona talking to in the hair salon at the end of the 4th episode of this? How did Allison get the scar on her thigh? Who drove the car into Emily's house? Who almost drowned Jenna, remember, at Emily's party that Paige threw for her? Why did Allison have masks made of herself? Who was staying in the crawl space at the De Laurentiis house? I think it's Cece, but it might have been Allison. Who pulled the other girls out of the fire if Allie was the one that pulled out Hannah? Only Hannah. Who gave Allison the bloody lip that Mrs. Hastings saw in a flashback? Were the pictures Jason had of Arya really Allison's? And what was she doing with them? Who put knives in Jake's punching bag? And who smashed Connor's car? So those are all of my questions. And pretty crazy, right? That's just my questions. Like I said, if you have questions that I didn't mention in this whole group, comment them below and I will add them to my list. But look at all of these questions that we don't have answered. It's like, and they only have this season 6 and 7, so it's like, we better start getting answers like every episode, or they're never going to give us all the answers. Unless, like, the final season, every episode will give us these answers. Maybe that'll be it. But anyways, we're going to have these episodes. We have, what, 18 episodes left? So that's, what, 4.5 months? So, what, we'll be through Christmas, and then we won't have any till, like, March or April. Then that'll start season 6. So, like, 2016 will be season 7. This is crazy. But anyways, that's my PLL talk. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll talk to you